Imagine you could duplicate yourself 10 times over without cloning your body, without hiring a team, and without adding a single extra hour to your day. That is exactly what the AI Multiplier Protocol does. The difference between someone who is merely productive and someone who scales results exponentially is not more effort, it is leverage. And in the modern performance landscape, artificial intelligence is the highest leverage tool you can deploy. But here's the problem. Most people treat AI like a party trick. They ask it random questions, maybe use it to write a caption, and then go back to doing 99% of the work manually. That is like owning a Ferrari and only driving it around the block on Sundays. The protocol I am about to give you is how top performers integrate AI into their cognitive and operational workflow so deeply that it feels like they have an army of specialists working behind the scenes 24 hours a day with zero payroll cost. The science here starts with understanding what AI really is in practical terms. At its core, AI is an accelerator of pattern recognition and output generation. Your brain is the same. It identifies patterns, connects them to memory, and produces actions or words. The difference is, your brain is limited by biological speed and energy depletion. AI does not fatigue and it can access vast data sets instantly. The multiplier protocol is about pairing the two into a single hybrid system, your strategic decision-making on top of AI's computational power. The first step is role definition. You cannot simply use AI, you must assign it clear, specialized identities. This means you stop thinking of AI as a single generic assistant and start thinking of it as a team of named roles with specific functions. For example, you might have an AI research analyst whose job is to scan and summarize the top 5 latest academic papers in your field every Monday morning. You might have an AI content architect whose role is to take your raw voice notes and structure them into polished, ready-to-publish material. You might have an AI deal screener whose responsibility is to analyze new opportunities against your preset criteria for ROI, speed, and risk. To implement this, you create persistent instruction sets for each role. This is where neuroscience comes into play. The human prefrontal cortex works best when context switching is minimized. By offloading repetitive and cognitively expensive tasks to specialized AI roles, you free up neural bandwidth for high-value strategic thinking. Step 2 is process integration. You do not want AI as a side tool you occasionally open in a browser tab. You embed it directly into your operating rhythm. This means using it as the first filter for every task that requires information gathering, synthesis, or first draft creation. Instead of starting from scratch, you start from AI's optimized baseline and spend your time refining, approving, and directing. Think of this like a relay race. AI runs the first lap at lightning speed, handing you the baton far ahead of where you would have been starting alone. Step 3 is constraint engineering. Left unchecked, AI will give you average, bloated answers. That is because its default is to be broad and safe. Your job is to feed it constraints that sharpen its output into something usable. In cognitive science, constraints reduce noise and increase signal clarity. For instance, instead of telling AI write a report on market trends, you instruct it to produce a bullet point report under 200 words identifying 3 emerging market trends in the renewable energy sector, each supported by 2 data points from the past 6 months. The tighter your constraints, the higher the leverage. Step 4 is recursive refinement. AI's real power is not in the first answer, but in the iterative improvement of that answer. Neuroscience research on feedback loops shows that performance accelerates when you rapidly cycle through review and adjustment phases. This applies to AI as well. You treat each AI output as version 1, immediately critique it, feedback the adjustments, and iterate until it meets or exceeds expert-level quality. This can compress weeks of trial and error into a single afternoon. Step 5 is parallelization. Your brain can only handle one complex problem at a time, but AI can run multiple projects in parallel. This is the equivalent of opening multiple mental workstations simultaneously. While one AI role is preparing your investor brief, another is mapping competitive threats, and another is simulating customer objections to your new product. You are not multitasking. You are overseeing multiple AI task streams and making high-level calls on the results. The key here is orchestration. You act as the conductor, ensuring each AI role's output feeds into the next role's input when necessary, creating a chain of amplified value. Step 6 is feedback calibration. AI learns from the way you respond to its outputs. Over time, if you consistently reinforce certain structures, tones, and priorities, it will begin to model them in future work. In behavioral psychology, this is operant conditioning, and it works on AI interaction patterns just like it does on human habits. The more consistently you train your AI team, the less you will need to correct them. Step 7 is outcome tracking. The point of the AI multiplier is not to play with technology. It is to multiply measurable results. You track key performance indicators for each AI role. Did the AI research analyst cut your research time by 70%? Did the AI deal screener save you from 2 bad investments? Did the AI content architect double your publishing frequency without extra hours? The data will show you where the multiplier is strongest and where it needs recalibration. Step 8 is opportunity mapping. AI is evolving weekly. If you are not continually scanning for new capabilities that can slot into your system, you will plateau. Just as elite athletes constantly adjust training regimens based on new sports science, elite performers adjust their AI integration based on emerging tools and models. You build a habit of setting aside 1 hour each month to audit the latest AI releases, test them in controlled scenarios, and decide whether they deserve a place in your protocol. Step 9 is protection. The more you integrate AI into your workflow, the more critical it becomes to protect against over-reliance. Cognitive atrophy is real. If you stop exercising certain mental skills, they weaken. That is why you maintain a baseline of manual practice in core areas like strategic thinking, negotiation, and creativity. AI is your exoskeleton, not your replacement. The combination of human judgment and AI execution is what produces tenfold gains, not AI alone. Step 10 is escalation. Once the core system is stable, you scale it by increasing complexity. You start assigning AI metatasks, such as having one AI role coordinate other AI roles, monitor progress, and flag bottlenecks. This creates a management layer that operates autonomously, leaving you free to focus on vision, relationships, and high-stakes moves. This is where the compounding effect kicks in. In performance science, compounding is when small, consistent advantages stack over time until the gap between you and your competition is no longer bridgeable. The AI multiplier turns every project into a compounding machine. The most important mindset shift in this entire protocol is that AI is not a single tool. It is an entire performance layer you bolt onto your brain. Think of your mind as the CEO of a company, and think of AI as the entire operations department that never sleeps. Your job is not to do the tasks, it is to make the decisions that direct those tasks with precision. That is why you must be deliberate about your AI onboarding process. Every new AI role you add should start with a pilot phase. For 7 days, you assign it a narrow but high-impact function, track the results, and refine its instructions until it meets your standard. Only then do you let it operate in the background as part of your permanent system. This mirrors the way elite companies onboard top talent. They do not throw a new hire into the deep end on day 1. They give them a single lane to master before expanding their scope. From a neuroscience perspective, the reason this approach works is that it prevents decision fatigue. You are training both yourself and the AI role to interact in a predictable, low-friction way. Once the pattern is established, the prefrontal cortex expends less energy, freeing up cognitive capacity for more strategic work. Another principle you must understand is leverage stacking. One AI role is powerful. 2 AI roles working together where one's output becomes the other's input is exponentially more powerful. For example, your AI research analyst might create a concise market report, which is then fed directly to your AI strategist, who turns it into an action plan with deadlines and resource allocations. This not only saves time, but also produces more coherent and aligned outputs because the entire chain is AI optimized before it even reaches you. In high-performance environments, this is called a closed-loop system. Nothing leaves the loop until it is fully refined and ready for execution. You can even extend this into client or audience-facing work. Imagine you run a business, and your AI content architect is producing daily, high-value posts based on the latest research your AI analyst finds overnight. You wake up to polished, strategic content ready to publish, content that would have taken you hours to produce manually. This is how you break out of the trap of incremental gains and move into exponential growth territory. The next layer of the protocol is risk management. Over-reliance on AI can create blind spots, especially if you stop cross-checking its work. The brain's hippocampus, which is critical for contextual memory, weakens in accuracy when it stops being challenged. That means if you simply accept AI outputs without critical review, your own pattern recognition skills can degrade. The solution is scheduled manual overrides. At least once per week, you deliberately take on a task that your AI team would normally handle from scratch without assistance. This keeps your cognitive muscles sharp and ensures you can still perform at a high level if the system is interrupted. Then, there is the concept of proactive AI training. Most users interact with AI reactively. They ask a question when they need something. High-level operators feed their AI training material continuously, even when no immediate output is required. This could be uploading your own writing so it learns your tone, feeding it reports you respect so it models their structure, or sharing examples of analysis you consider excellent. Over time, the AI becomes a highly specialized extension of your own thinking style, not just a generic assistant. Once you have the core system running, you enter the optimization phase. This is where you start running time and motion studies on yourself. For 1 week, track every task you do, the time it takes, and whether it could be offloaded to AI with clear instructions. You will be shocked at how many hours vanish into work that is not strategic. Every hour reclaimed is not just an hour saved. It is an hour that can be reinvested into high-leverage moves like building partnerships, developing products, or expanding into new markets. And because AI handles the repetitive execution, you can focus on what only you can do, setting vision and making judgment calls. The final piece of the AI Multiplier Protocol is escalation to networked intelligence. This means linking multiple AI platforms and tools so they pass data and tasks between each other automatically. It is one thing to have a few AI roles in separate windows. It is another to have a fully integrated AI ecosystem where your research tool talks to your project management AI, which talks to your communication AI, all without you manually transferring information. This is where the tenfold increase in efficiency becomes a reality, because you have eliminated the friction between stages of work. To give you a real-world example, one of my clients built a system where his AI research analyst pulled data from industry sources at night. His AI strategist turned that data into a prioritized list of opportunities by morning, and his AI communicator drafted personalized outreach messages to key contacts by lunchtime. His only job was to approve and send. What used to take his team 2 weeks was now done in less than 24 hours, without adding any human staff. That is the point where your competition cannot catch you, because you are no longer operating on the same playing field. They are still running marathons while you are flying over the track in a jet. When you implement this protocol, remember the guiding principle. You're not delegating to AI. You are building a hybrid mind. You bring the judgment, the intuition, and the vision. AI brings the speed, the scale, and the tireless execution. Together, you form a performance unit that outproduces entire teams. The sooner you stop treating AI as a gadget and start treating it as a structured, role-based force multiplier, the sooner you will see the compounding advantage that leaves others wondering how you get so much done in so little time. If you are serious about building an arsenal of mental codes and strategic protocols that put you years ahead in months, then subscribe to Success Code now. Every week we release a new playbook designed to give you an edge the competition will not see coming until it is too late.